Hello and welcome to another video. Here specifically looking at how to become a business consulting freelancers. So in today's video I'm going to recap is the section 4, or how to conduct a research, or how to conduct a proper research and gather quality data, as well as the section 5, which is developing your personal brand and the importance of that. So here on this section 4, yesterday I look at, well, what are the tasks that a consultant does, which is gather relevant data, identify the source of truth from the most trustworthy to least valuable, and when it comes to conduct the research, see things from different perspectives, as well as gather relevant information for your project, for your consulting, for your report. Keep record and keep track every source you obtain and take notes about it. Evaluate the quality of those sources, and don't forget to circle back with your client or with your own research. And which is something that I discussed today, especially on looking at the type of e-commerce, because I conduct a research based on a particular guidelines that Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery instructor, actually made when it comes to evaluate how a particular website from the marketing perspective works. So the TLDR of that guidelines is, first, understand the product and service, what this company offers, and then you go into the specific about their pricing, their category, what makes this company unique. If you can have access to the first party data, that's great, because from there now you can gather relevant information about what they have done in the past and see how they have been performing, as well as conduct a competitor analysis to see who the other players are in that industry, and from there learn what they're doing and see what you can learn from them by creating a keyword research. That once you use keyword tools out there, for example from Google or any other online keyword tool, is to understand what's going on in that industry, and from there, okay, then you going to look at creating is a keyword research, okay, to understand what this industry is going, or what's going on in that industry. And on top of that, you're going to look at the worst news to get up-to-date data and see everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. The TLDR of this, okay, is that especially if you're conducting a research for a particular company, first understand the genetics, so all the products and service, and what this company is offering, and then you go into the specific. If you can have access to the first party data, that's great, because you can now see what they have doing and how they have been performing. So next is to conduct the competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry, and that is see what they're doing and what you can learn from them, and creating a keyword research to understand is what's going on in that industry, okay, based on this. And on top of that, number 6 is get up-to-date data based on your keyword research and what's going on, and to know more about what's going on in that industry. Get up-to-date data to see how everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. And that include is look at where this industry is going and how this industry is adapting to regulations. So in the case of e-commerce, which is a small keyword or a small research that I conduct here, first to understand what an e-commerce is, which Amazon mentioned that it refers specifically to the trade of good and service on the internet. And Shopify mentioned that even though that e-business refers to all aspects of operating an online business, and most common areas of an online business has is marketing and sales, or more marketing, sales, financial sector, research or human research, operations, in the IT sectors, as well as the customer service, research and development. Again, this is just describing is the most widely common departments in a business. So e-commerce refers specifically to the trade of goods on the internet. So with that, then I look at the other different business models, such as the business to consumer, which is the widely most common use case. Retail specifically refers to that. So retail businesses specialize on selling goods and or service to consumers, business to consumers, right? So for example of this we have is retailers like Amazon or Amazon, Target, Walmart, digital marketplace like Etsy or eBay, as well as subscription service like Netflix and Spotify. Also, sorry, uh, travel and online booking such as Airbnb, Expedia, that kind of thing, and as well as the uh, ordering food and delivery service such as Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. So these are part of the retail business, right? Or this business to consumers. But when it comes now to look at other type of e-commerce or business model, we have is the business to business, such as uh, marketplace like Alibaba, Amazon e-business, or eBay business. EDI, the electronic data interchange, which is a system from IBM and also other companies that ensure to transfer critical paperwork such as purchase order or invoice within a company or across company, right? Also, online portals. So for very large business that wants to streamline their supply chain, they set an online portal to do that, or to also streamline their procurement portals. So SAP Ariba Network allow you to do that, as well as the uh, supply center, Walmart Supply Center, wholesale e-commerce, where now manufacturer and distributors sell directly to business, such as Uline and Grainger, and business-to-business payment solution, such as PayPal or Stripe. And another business model is the consumer to business, such as freelance work or the user-generated content. This is, for example, user-generated specific content for business, so they can promote their product and service, or for selling some digital media, for example, audio, image, or videos, right? as well as the um, online service such as SurveyMonkey, crowdfunding like uh, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, as well as reverse auction. So where now consumers submit a price quota on a product that is sold by business, so that is where that business are selling. So okay, another business model here is also the government to business. Something especially important if you're going to create a business, okay, such as public procurement portals. So government agencies create online portals so business can bid on government contracts, such as the FBO on the US, the Federal Business Opportunity, or the uh, I don't remember exactly the name of the I don't remember exactly of the UK government contract finding service. Okay, so public procurement portals, public procurement, and translate to Spanish, this is portales públicos de acreditación or the procurement in Spanish, okay, de litigios. Because this is more like a government contract. Okay, adquisición contratos, contratación, procurement. Okay, so public procurement portals, or in Spanish, portales de contratación pública. Okay. Also, another example, tax filing and payment, or tax filing and payment. So now government agency provide an online portal to business so they can fill taxes or for tax filing and payment, like the electronic federal transfer payment system in the US, or the HM revenue and custom in the UK. Also, licensing and permit applications, for example, like building permits or food license, as well as international trade and custom clearance. So, for example, business that wants to business that wants to import, for example, electronic customs clearance or export declaration. So the government facilitated this cross-border trade, allegedly. Okay, so uh, custom clearance and export declaration, or international trade. Okay, as well as the business registration, such as the SBA, Small Business Administration on the US, or the UK Company House. Example now for the consumer to business, or for the government to consumers, you have tax payment portals like the IRS on the US, or AFIP in Argentina, SEMIAT in Venezuela, or the UK, the HM Custom and Revenue on UK. Vehicle registration and licensing applications, as well as passport applications, payment of fines and fees, all online payment bills, and order birth and death certificates. And this section is something interesting because, for example, in the US, you can order through the National Center for for Health Statistics, okay? The National Center for Health Statistics allow you to do that, all right? And here they mention is all of this very relevant data. This healthcare or this health statistic, which is very very important, and I don't think a lot of people actually make use of this. And the funny thing is that it's public. Patients with Medicaid were more likely to visit the emergency department in 2021 than patients who use other forms of payment. New report described death from drugs overdose in 2020 by usual occupation and industry. From drug overdose. Get phone number for 2022. Okay, that's actually not that big. 2020, 2021, 2022. Fertility rate, number of birth in millions. Mm, interesting. Again, this center is very very interesting. By the way, it's very 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 interesting. Exactly. So with that, all right, the National Center for Health Statistics, which is a very very interesting website. So yeah, so this website is part of this example of government to consumers, and when it comes to the consumer to government, things like online petitions, online donation, uh, online permit applications such as fishing licensing or hunting permits, right? And then I look at where are the e-commerce take place. Most of the time is on the social media or enterprise as well as the mobile commerce. So this is most of the time where all of this takes place. So with that, then I look at the competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry, such as Amazon, Alibaba, Shopify, which is something that actually I'm working for them, specifically as a Shopify, an e-commerce platform for online business here. Uh, so I actually helping a Shopify clients with their app. Okay, and then you have IKEA. It's a Swedish multinational company based in Netherlands that design and sells ready-to-assemble furniture, kitchen appliance decoration, home accessory, and other good and home service. But IKEA, it is funny because I don't. There is no IKEA in Latam. Uh, but this is not IKEA. This is not IKEA. IKEA in oh my god. Okay, IKEA. All right. Okay. No, but IKEA in Latam, for example. Aha. Ah, of course, in Chile. All right. Okay. Hmm. Oh, holy hell. Oh my God, for real? Who the? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, consumer mindset. Consumer mindset. This was a year ago. Interesting. This was a year ago. IKEA. Uh-huh. IKEA. Of course, in Puerto Rico. I am not surprised. Mexico. Ciudad de México y Puebla. Santo Domingo, República Dominicana. Bogotá. Lima. There is a lot of people in South America that see Peru as, man, the least place you will visit. Uh, uh, I mean, it's like the hobos. A lot of people in South America watch or see Peru as hobos, or people that Jesus. Of course, not everybody, not everybody, but yeah, most of things like that. So interesting. Santiago de Chile, IKEA, but there is nothing in here in Brazil. Interesting. Falabella. Of course. Interesting. Interesting. Falabella. Mhm. Okay, the next store will be in Bogota. Mm, interesting. IKEA. hmm hmm Exactly, it's a retailer. Exactly, retail. Retail. Interesting. So Falabella is a retail after all. Much like Latam. Okay, it retails. hmm Night store in Chile, Colombia, and Peru in the coming next year. The coming next 10 years. Or in the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. So this is very, very interesting, by the way. Especially in Latin. So so there is a new IKEA store in Latin, in Chile specifically. So okay. Walmart. I think Walmart already exists in. So Walmart already exists in Latin. There is a Walmart Mexico and I think in Chile as well. Okay. But it doesn't tell me. Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, y Costa Rica. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Walmart. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Es Jesus. Pemex and American Mobile. Walmart of Mexico. Jesus. Anyway. So okay. After I conduct this competitor analysis to look other players and what's going on in that industry. Okay. So first to look at who the other players in that industry are: Amazon, Alibaba, Shopify, IKEA, Walmart. But Shopify is an e-commerce platform. Walmart, eBay. All right. By conducting some keyword research to know what's going on in that industry, for example, with keywords like e-commerce, Amazon, Alibaba, Shopify, and eBay, now understand what's going on in that industry, especially with Shopify websites. Especially with Shopify website, stores, web design, uh, Amazon, Amazon online shopping, Fire Stick, gift cards, Alibaba wholesale, Alibaba online shopping, AliExpress wholesale, Alibaba products, AliExpress online shopping, right? As well as the Shopify store, themes, website, point of sale, website design, as well as the eBay, right? So to look at what's going on in that industry, and from there get up to date data to see what's going on in that industry. So after I conduct that research, now it is time to know how to present that data. And this is something important because the client wants to know, hey, how you came up with that conclusion. So by showing them with different aesthetic, statistic, and the meaningful patterns, the client can decide to work with you or not. And after all, the whole point of this is to stand out yourself because you don't want to be seen as any other consultant that just do the bare minimum to get by. Okay? All right. So, um, especially when you're conducting or when you're creating is this report, first, you must know exactly what you're going to put in there. Okay? Second, put the most valuable data first because you don't want the client start to forget what the important thing was. So by putting the most relevant data first and then explain that with different or extend that with different aesthetic and visualizations, and if you have to do that with recurring clients, it is better to use some templates. And don't forget to rely on different charts and statistics. Okay? So charts like bar graph, which are great when you want to see change in time. Okay? Or when you want to see change or when you want to show change in time, like bar graph, or compare different categories or part to a whole, more useful is most useful pie charts to do that. When it comes to see comparison, when you want to see part to a whole comparison, uh, they're most impactful with small data sets as well. Line graph, when you want to see trends, acceleration, decelerations, or volatility. Uh, this is when you want to see time series relationship. Line graph, area chart, which is the same like line graph, but here you can see is volume. Okay, and scatter plot, but this is more for correlation of data, and correlation doesn't mean causality, but that's another whole different video. So with scatter plot, you can see is what is the relationship of different data points, and bubble chart is a combo between a area chart and scatter plot, where here you can use them for data visualizations, for nominal comparisons or ranking. And when you talk about nominal comparisons, data can be labeled into nominal or ordinal. Okay, where now nominal, the data doesn't have an inherent order, such as color of your eyes, car, ethnicity, fruit. Whereas with ordinal, data has an inherent order, such as income brackets or education level, customer satisfaction from 1 to 5 star, for example, health, poor, or very poor, fair, good, excellent. So with that, okay, we're talking about the bubble chart. I also look at the heat map, which are useful when you want to see, when you want to display categorical data that can be grouped in different, like nominal or ordinal data. Okay, so using intensity of colors to represent value of geographical areas or data tables. Okay, so that's the whole point of this. So example of this are when you want to see, or when you want to show is which states export the most oil, for example, or palm oil. Okay, so by using this intensity of colors on a geographical map or in geographical areas or in the data table, is something that is also valuable. All right, heat maps, waterfall when you want to see performance over time, tables when you want to compare, for example, sales sales administrative, sales representative, okay, or where blocks views are coming from. Also, geomaps, useful when you want to see, when you want to display data on a map. For example, the number of retails that a particular brand has over a city or a county, state, or a country, as well as the pictograph when you want to show statistics with icons. So all of these are great and it's interesting, by the way. And also the tools that you can use to leverage your report, such as Microsoft Excel or Statista when you want to find is data, as well as Google Trends or Canva when you want to create your report, you can use your existing CRM and analytics. Okay, the whole point of this is to make it easy to follow and see how others are formulating data. Okay, so there is also a particular thing when it comes to show or data visualization. So first, make it easy to follow, make it easy to read, and compare your data with benchmark. Okay, don't use outdated data. Don't lose your visualizations or your data after you present it, which is something that most of the time I will argue that a lot of people actually do that. And when it comes now to communicate that to others, first, break down complex topics, especially if you're going to rely on a lot of industry jargon, and you have to explain that to an audience that don't hold a background on that. It's very, very important to do that. But yes, specifically, communication tips for your presentation: break down complex topics, make sure that you understand the goal and show that, as well as avoid any miscommunications. It's also important, especially after you present that, to identify what is the working style for your client and be a team player. Keep brief and keep regularly updates of your change. And once I look at this, all right, which is I know how to gather quality data. I know how to conduct a research. I also look at how Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery structure, do that by following some particular guidelines that help me vastly with that helped me vastly with uh, to understand uh, and to help me vastly to understand more about the so one to recap. Okay, to recap. So once I know how to gather quality data, I know how to conduct a research. I also follow is the recommendation that Paul Mendes especially conduct from the marketing eyes on a particular website, and this is useful not only for a software developer, because after all you are okay, you're doing code, la 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 la, but also it's important as a business owner to have a broad perspective of the reason why you're doing that. Okay, besides your particular faculty or your job as a software developer or a designer, blah blah blah. Okay, is to actually understand why you are doing what you're doing. So once you know how to do that, and then how to create visually engaging presentations, as well as follow a particular way of doing that. So first is to you must know exactly what you're going to put in that report. Put the most relevant data first. Rely on templates if you have recurring clients. And uh, use data visualization, whether it's bar graph, pie chart, line graph, area chart, scatter plot, bubble chart, um, heat maps, or waterfall, geomaps, data tables, or pictograph. Okay, It is important also to know how you're going to create the data visualizations. So by make it clear and easy to read and compare your data with benchmark, and don't lose your data after you present it. When it comes to explain that, break down complex topics, make sure that you understand the goal and show that, you understand the goal and avoid any miscommunication. So after you present your report, and your presentations, if the client decides to work with you, great. Well, understand their working style. Perhaps the client wants to work with you through the email or Slack. In my particular case, with Slack, as well as the uh, send brief updates, be a team player, and keep track every interaction that you have with your client. So when you want to build recurring clients, following is the A/B testing is a great way to do that. You can perform as many tests as you wanted. A/B testing, after all, is about A and B, which is A is the control and B is the treatment, where A is your original unauthorized version, where now B is the optimized or the expected optimized version. Okay? So, with that, there are certain practice that you can go with to make your life much more easy. So first, decide on significance before doing the test. Once you do that, test one variable, do one test at a time, make minor change, test that simultaneously, and split your test 50-50. Very, very, very important, and also to apply that. So for example, how can I apply this? Even though I can apply this A/B testing, okay, for this, A/B testing, because after all, it's not only about repeating this, all of this content and over and over and over, but also it's applying it. Because everything that you have learned from that, know when to apply that. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Okay, A/B testing. Cool. So yeah, so this is A/B testing on change inline style. Okay. Okay. Cool. So it also is important to measure it over time. And measure it over time. Go. An effective A/B testing focus on continuous improvement. An effective A/B testing focus on continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. Okay, on continuous improvement. And remember to plan. Do, check, and act. So remember that the ultimate goal of A/B testing is to deliver the best value and also to secure long-term. Exactly. The goal of A/B testing is to deliver the best value and also to secure the goal of A/B testing is to deliver the best value and also to secure long-term clients. Period. And this is also something that is not only applied for a particular for it's also applied for life. It is also applied for life. So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.